An investigation is now underway into classified documents discovered at President Biden's office and home in Delaware. These are documents from his time as vice president. The first batch of documents were found on November 2nd by his staff. The second batch was found last month in a garage in Delaware. A special counsel is now assigned to investigate this, similar to what is happening with classified documents that were found at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago property. How does this happen, and how are these cases similar and different, and are they? Former Department of Justice Attorney Michael Zeldin is with us this morning with an explanation. We can put an exclamation point on a lot of this because it's pretty surprising. Michael, thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. Let's start with the threshold for a special counsel and what it would take to call one in.
Generally speaking, it's because there is a conflict that prevents the Justice Department from investigating the subject. In this case, it would be the president. In this case, the statute doesn't really mandate by law that there be a special counsel, but under the statute, it also says under special circumstances where the public confidence in the investigation is implicated, then a special counsel should be appointed too. So here, it's a matter of political perception, public confidence in the integrity of the investigation that led Attorney General Garland to make the appointment.
Does this mean that there is potential evidence of criminality?
It means that there is evidence that the president mishandled classified documents, and that when there is a mishandling of classified documents, there is an investigation that is undertaken to determine what was the nature of the mishandling and whether or not that mishandling results in a criminal fine or just a report. Remember, Alberto Gonzalez, who was the Attorney General, was similarly investigated for mishandling classified documents, and the Inspector General investigated, referred the matter to the DOJ, and the DOJ said because there was no unauthorized disclosure of the contents of those mishandled documents, prosecution was not warranted.
Let me ask. Go ahead.
I think that's probably what will be the outcome here too.
Well, President Biden has said, I didn't know. I take classified documents seriously. I wasn't aware that these documents were in my office, in my garage. Is that a legitimate defense? Does that hold water in court?
Well, sure, it does, in the sense that, generally speaking, these types of cases are prosecuted when a person intentionally takes, mishandles, and discloses the contents of these documents. We saw that previously in the most recent prosecutions where people took documents, Sandy Berger for one, took documents, shared it with another person, knowingly doing so led to his criminal conviction. Here, as I think in the case of Donald Trump, the mere taking of the documents without knowledge and intent to disclose should not likely result in criminal prosecution.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.